to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
I literally drove it from, you know where John's is, right?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I didn't until Venus explained it to me.
Yeah.
So they're behind that
car
wash.
Yeah, like you turn left, go past it, it goes left, and they're on the left right after it.
Yeah.
Drove it home. Put it in the garage. No, I didn't even. I put it in the driveway because Shan had some stuff in the garage that I couldn't pull it in all the way. Left it on the driveway. I'm like, fuck it. It's been out for fucking 2 months.
Yeah. What's one more night?
What's a couple hours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like get in it to go to Chick-fil-A. And you know how far away Chick-fil-A is.
Yeah, but you didn't make it past the...
I didn't make it past Roseville Parkway. I stopped at Roseville Parkway on Pleasant Grove at the light. And when it turned green, I started giving it some gas. And you could tell right away. Oh, here it comes. Boom. And then I had to get, because I ordered the fucking dinner on my phone at Chick-fil-A. When you order food from them, and they don't just make it and then you go pick it up. You got to tap on here for them to start putting your order together.
Oh.
So I had to go within range of Chick-fil-A to tap on here to fucking bolt home so Shan could come back and pick it up. Because I'm like, I'm not getting stuck here.
Right.
I just want to get it home. So hopefully it behaves enough, or they're not that far away where I could probably get it there without any real trouble.
Yeah.
But the engine light is flashing.
Are you ready for donuts yet? That's so nuts.
Dude.
I got especially the same code.
Yeah, P2150. I know it by heart now.
Not the third injector, not the fourth or the first.
Yeah.
It is the repeat second one.
So it's you'll have to read the paper.
All right.
It's makes sense. There's some like autocorrect spelling things that are in there.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what that means. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you read it, you're like, oh, sure. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Fuck you guys over at Cal Auto, you dumb fucks.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
And then here we are.
Mom driving us to...
And then it's not even just like the fact that it's like I don't have a car, but it's like fighting with an insurance company.
Right.
And all the high ups and downs of like fighting with them over the fucking labor rate. They decided for some reason that the labor rate was only $130, which is like $40 different per hour.
Mm.
And then they wouldn't cover the cost of the part because John's cost was more than what they would pay. And then they offered to send a computer to John's, but John's like, hold up. So this is another thing I'll have to reconsider later on. But John's is like, hold up. We don't take customer supplied parts, even though it's not coming from me. It's coming from the insurance company.
Right.
They don't take those parts because we didn't order them. We can't vouch for them.
Right.
So we don't install any customer supplies. If you took them a fucking set of coilovers and said, hey, could you install these? They'd be like, no.
Okay.
That's not what they do. So because John's cost is higher, they would only pay X amount for whatever that was.
Okay.
So you got a difference in the fucking labor rate. You got a difference in the price of the part. Then you have a labor dispute over the programming of the part in general, which I picked up half of.
It's speaking about that part, I think I see this more and more of like as I consume like mechanic and auto repair or like rebuild that the job function or the understanding of ECU tuning has become a very specialized aspect of car repair. Like a lot of what I see is strictly related to like fuel map tuning,
right,
and stuff that you're doing on a dyno, stuff like that. But the more advanced, I presume it only gets more advanced when we talk about something that's got, it's a hybrid or Teslas or stuff like that. Like the further we get, where the computer is now
center
right,
point.
and not just like, because your throttle is electronic and your injections and your air fuel mapping is all of that is electronic. Yeah. It's because the computer is the brain,
right?
Like it's different. Like when it's like, my 80s Jeep or fucking 300ZX. Like, yeah, you could probably start pulling off some parts of the ECU and it may run.
Yeah.
Like the engine would run, but you would
because you got a mechanical distributor cap.
Right. You've got something
your
like
fuel delivery
I could
is
just
different.
take this and just throw a mechanical part on here and the motor would still run, but I would lose all my electronic dings and warning lights and all that other shit.
And tunability.
Right.
Yeah.
But I could make this thing work to a degree.
Yeah.
Now we are way beyond that.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
your car is totally dependent on
and
that.
it's to the point to where the person with the capacity and understanding and the time to specialize in that part of auto repair is not also the same guy or gal or person that can fix or repair, or tear down an engine.
Yeah.
We replaced your drive shaft or you blew out your differential or your calipers or something. You blew a CV. Something like that.
Yeah.
Mechanical things, I need you to, I'm missing here and I need you to reprogram my ECU. And you go and ask your engine guy and he looks at you cross-eyed. Like, not me.
Yeah.
No one everyone in the shop here is a grease monkey, not a tech monkey.
Yeah.
And I see almost like that thing has
that divide.
Yeah, has started to become a larger and larger chasm. And in your case, I don't it's working against you. Like the specialists,
something's working against me.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, something is.
Yeah.
It's starting to become like extremely problematic for a guy that or gal or person that just wants a functioning fucking thing that they're paying for.
Yeah.
Like, this is my thing. I'm paying bills on this thing.
Yeah.
I need the thing to do other things.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like everything is starting to get so siloed in specialties that where's the shop that I can go and just get one set of peoples to fix the things.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me leery of anyone who's not the dealer. And even the dealers are fallible, right? I mean,
right.
You can take a car to them. I've seen many, many occasions where a dealer has given up on a car that they couldn't repair and sent it to another shop, for instance. That happens all the time, but I really struggle. So I don't know, we haven't gotten here yet, I guess, from we started talking before we started recording, but
yeah.
I got my car back today.
Oh, hey, welcome to Sad Dads Called Podcast, episode 232 on the Fu.
I'm Jim.
Okay, hey, yeah.
So in the ongoing saga of the ATS, got my car back today. Very excited. Went and picked it up. Ran smooth. Man, that's a nice driving car. Drove it home.
Yeah.
I live about a mile and a half, wouldn't you say? From the shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
It's really close to me. So maybe mile and a half-ish.
Yeah.
Drove it home, parked it in the driveway. I had work to do, so I went back to work. And then at dinner, we had a situation where I had to just go pick up dinner because we were short on time.
And you have your car.
And I have a car. Oh my gosh. So I was excited. I told my wife, I'm like a 2023 adult with a vehicle.
Right.
I can go do this. So I ordered food and at Chick-fil-A. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Chick-fil-A, when you order through their app, you got to go to the store and press I'm here. So they start making your order. And so I ordered the food. My wife wasn't even home. She's on her way back from like a school union meeting. And I get 3/4 of a mile from my house, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that.
And the same check engine light popped up and started running rough again, just like it did when I took it to the shop again for the second time.
I can like visually see like Dave right now doing like the ooh.
Oh, I know.
That like Mexican soccer meme guy face.
And because I had just ordered Chick-fil-A, I had to go through the Chick-fil-A parking lot and hit I'm here so they would start the order
right.
so that my wife could come in behind me and go pick it up.
We still need the sandwich.
Yeah. So I could fucking limp home.
Yeah.
And make it home and put the car in the garage so that I can call the shop tomorrow first thing in the morning and be like, don't get rid of that old ECU.
Right. Right.
Because the same problem.
Right.
So, yeah.
What does Shan get from Chick-fil-A that's Veganosaurus?
She got mac and cheese.
Oh, okay.
And fruit and some fries.
What do you get?
Tonight?
The chicken sandwich?
Normally I get like the spicy chicken sandwich deluxe or something with the tomatoes and lettuce and all that stuff.
Right.
Tonight I just got chicken strips.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it was very fitting because we were eating and I'm like, yeah, I just got chicken strips tonight. Like I'm a 6-year-old that doesn't have a vehicle. So it was very fitting for the moment, apparently. So my wife had to drop me off here at the studio so that we could record the show.
I think somewhere about 6:15, 6:30, Venus goes, have you heard from Jim about the car? And I went, No. No.
He would tell me if there was something new. And you know what's funny?
Hey.
What's funny
you
is...
didn't say anything because you didn't want to jinx it?
Part of that. I typed up some stuff in our Discord chat.
Yeah. Hey, Fu, guess what?
It was in our 3 dudes and datas.
Right.
And I typed up a thing like, got the car back, I'm so excited. And then I'm like, delete.
Yeah.
And I didn't
before anything happened.
This is, I'd driven home.
Parked.
Worked. Typed up a thing on my phone and I'm like, I'll just drive up. Yeah. I'll just drive to the house and have it.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Not.
So now I'm glad I didn't fucking say anything. Although I guess it doesn't really matter. But so I am no better off right now than I was 2 months ago. Really.
We are in March.
And I'm like down about $750 for a battery and repairs.
Man.
And the coolant problem, let's talk about that, because that was something I talked about last time.
Right.
When I got it back, I still had the check engine light, and the
That's just the monitor blinking, right?
Yeah.
I can't quite see.
And the car sat in the garage, and it had coolant sitting on the ground, and that was during the show. My wife was sending pictures.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So I had them look at the cooling system. They pressure tested it. Didn't find any leaks, so that's shitty.
I would be curious, because you actually put some miles on it,
Mm-hmm.
and like by miles, I mean like 2. If there's anything dripping under it when you get home tonight or in the morning.
Well, I mean, it's home right now.
Right.
So-
I mean,
yeah.
if there'll be,
Yeah.
because you at least got it somewhat
Pressurized and all
Hot.
that. Hot and
warm.
oh yeah, it's 3 cylinders warm for sure.
Right. Yeah.
That is excessive.
Yeah,
heat.
they was probably putting the extra coolant into that third or second? The second cylinder.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it has a. Maybe that's it. Maybe it has a head gasket problem. I don't know. man. I mean, but that doesn't account
That
for the
low
electronic
voltage,
part of it.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's the same error code. A P21. I have my little code reader and looked, and it's the same P2150 code I had when I took it there, and then I also took it to the other shop with the same code.
Yeah.
And what the fix was this time was the ECU. They replaced the ECU, which required programming. I had to take both the sets of keys down there so they could program it all. And I'm right back at square one again. And here's the thing about there are some American cars that I like.
Okay.
I've had 2 really sour American car purchases now.
PT Cruiser,
Yeah.
Chrysler,
Yep. And
GM,
Cadillac. And, I'm not saying the Cadillac's a big pile of shit or anything like that, because I think the car is wonderful. I love driving that car.
Right.
I almost threw a fit one time because I wasn't going to be able to drive it on a road trip.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I would rather
Right.
drive my car than anything else.
Right.
And to be fair, 40 something thousand miles
Mm-hmm.
is how many miles I've put on it. So it's ran really good. I
Mhm.
really don't have any trouble with it. It just gotta get past whatever this is.
Right.
So the ECU required a bunch of work and programming and all this stuff. They replaced it. I drove it approximately 3 miles, and I still have the same code.
I think in our house, as adults, between Venus and I don't think, I'm trying to recall, I don't think we've had a bad experience yet
With any vehicle?
with any vehicle. Now, if I were to wind back like certainly high school, because we talked about, I can't remember if we covered this on the show. So my first car was a 67 Mustang.
Mm.
It was
They have an LS swap?
yeah. Fun fact. Okay, so if you're driving up towards Grass Valley,
Mm-hmm.
before you get to
On 49?
on 49, Highway 49, before you get to the Combi Wolf intersection, there is a nice horse ranch on the right-hand side that has like white fence.
Yeah.
And on the left-hand side, there's like a homestead-style house on the left-hand side. And just before that, there's a dude that sells firewood.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The homestead house that's just after the firewood guy, he used to sell like one car at a time, a used car like in his yard.
I think I remember seeing those cars.
My Mustang came from that guy.
Oh.
At the time, it was a cream yellow 67 coupe, not the fastback, just the coupe Mustang.
You said cream.
Yeah, cream yellow. God, it was It was so nice.
Did he like work on them and then?
I have no idea. I was too young at the time to know. I really wasn't a car guy yet.
You were just like, cool, man, a Mustang.
But it was, and my dad had my dad and all my uncles growing up all had Mustangs.
Yeah. My grandparents had 2 of them.
My dad, fun fact, he had the Beatnik inline 6 one, which I didn't really know until just recently. Which is funny because mine was the 289, so I had the V8.
Yeah.
And I think I got that as my first car. You know, we weren't well off, but I think my dad wanted me to have a Mustang because he had one.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I loved that car, but not in a capacity that I love cars now. It was like, this is important to me. It's a Mustang and it's old. Yeah, but I didn't fully appreciate it at the time, it being 16. And we going into 16, 17-ish, we, roughly 6 months after owning it, we started fighting. I mean, as a 67, we started finding electronic gremlins. Oh. Like the wiring.
I thought you were going to say like overheating. Cause
no.
That was something that was common.
One was gas. So being low middle income and having to go from the house all the way to Bear River, like I
sucking it down.
Yeah. It's
those V8s were not fuel efficient.
No, not at all. So
you could have put a K20 in it.
Yeah, K20 swapped it. B16.
Yeah.
And at the time, it started to become a hardship on the house. It was nice for me to be able to move the kids around because my dad was commuting from Grass Valley to Vacaville, and my mom at the time was just starting to become estranged from the family. So I was picking up moving kids around, moving Brett and Kelly around, and that car was not efficient at that. So we started to fight electronic gremlins, and then
what year was it?
67.
Okay. And
then we started fighting it became a hardship on money for gas. And being an older car, if you've ever heard or you've driven some of the Mustangs in particular, it was terrible at hydroplaning. Like, you go in some of those whoops on McCourtney, and you're in any sort of rain, the nose is already, Dave probably knows exactly what I'm talking about, the nose is already a little bit high.
Yeah.
And those things my dad told me, he's like, these things are notorious for hydroplaning. And at the time, I was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll be able to...
Whatever.
And it took that first winter where I came down right in front of Elster, some of those big barn places where you get a whoop-de-doo. So you already lighten it a little bit, and then you've got a little bit of water down there. And it wasn't, when I thought my dad's trying to explain hydroplaning, I'm thinking, well, my back end's going to come out a little bit, and I'll be able to like, woo, fucking hot sauce this. No. When the front loses shit, then it becomes a pucker moment. Yeah. And you're like,
I can't steer. I'm floating.
They didn't teach me this in driver's training at Nevada Union. What is this? And you fucking take out a chicken or something.
Right. Or someone's fence.
Or a fence. And everything's fucking steel, so it's like, and no airbags.
Oh,
yeah. Safety, one, gas, and then it all went south. And then I got the Fiero from a used car lot right by it used to be a Humpty Dumpty down from between AJA and not Humpty Dumpty. There's it was a used car lot between what is now the Sierra College campus and the Brunswick exit. It's It was a shiesty.
Yeah.
And we went on the lot.
Like across the street from the AAA.
Yeah. And I got essentially told it was an early graduation present because we essentially needed a person in another car because mom was walking off the plank kind of thing.
Well, Fierro's not going to let you lug anybody around.
No, no. At least at the time, my brother, he was okay, like not doing the same amount of, like Kelly needed to get to school, and we were going the same place.
Yeah.
So it was like, that was becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And she got a Hyundai Excel, which was a super piece of shit.
I had one.
Yes.
That was my first car.
Super piece of shit.
Yeah. Was it used?
Yes.
Oh,
all our stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And that thing spent more time at Cedar Ridge and a mechanic shop than it did in our driveway.
Yeah.
Like, period, easy.
Starting to sound like the Cadillac.
I know. That's what I was going to say. So, and the Fiero, I was, unbeknownst to me, like all of the mid-engine fire mechanical things to Fiero, it was, when I got on the lot, and it was, my dad and mom were still, communicating at that point, and it was between a CRX, a green CRX, and the Fiero. And when I sat in the mistakes were made.
I know.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
I see this now. But when I sat in the Fiero, and it was I swear to God, that thing was like a fucking go-kart. It was, and I loved it. I'm like, oh yeah, why would I get this? A CRX, like, this looks weird and it's green. That's lame. This is like, it looks like a little fucking dart spear, and you're so low to the ground, and you like slipped into it like a slipper. You like felt like you were almost leaning backwards.
It was almost like it was like you were getting in a Ferrari or something.
Yes, it got. I love the feeling of. And the seating position, driving position of that car, few and far between. I've been in something that like it was. I drove the shit out of that thing. It never really had. I went through a clutch on it. And then towards the tail end of its life, I was working full time and making really good money, working for PCWA, and really it hit its end of life, even with its semi-electronic mechanical problems, really because I just traded it in and got the Eclipse. And then from then on, I've been fine. The knick-knack stuff that I ran into on the Fiero, I never saw a lot of like the complaint stuff, like, oh, it's it's got old and things started to wear out, and it is what it is. But the Mustang was like my Cadillac. Like, when it started to go, we were chasing gremlins, and at the time I was not in any shape or form mechanically inclined, and my dad was balls to the wall working his ass off. So while he had expertise, he didn't have time. So it was like, fuck, we can't keep it because we need you driving.
Yeah.
And Venus had I want to say a Mazda 626 that I want to say she always talked shit about or had problems with. But she spent more time with another gentleman.
Oh.
So I don't really remember. I kind of only just remember hindsight. She wasn't really, and then she had the Ford Probe.
I commuted with a guy.
I really don't think, I enjoyed the Probe, and I don't think she had too many mechanical problems with it. If anything, if there were problems, it was because we were schlepping around too much weight in speakers and amps in the back of it. But we drove probably her Probe around more as boyfriend and girlfriend than my cars because it was just flat out more reliable.
Yeah. I commuted with a guy when I first started working at AJA. He worked across the street in another company, and he lived by Mistywood.
Oh.
And he came from Detroit and he worked for Ford, and one of his projects was working on the Ford Probe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget what he worked on, but it was.
It was a good car. I like the shape. She had all of like the rear windows all super dark tinted.
Yeah.
It was nice. I enjoyed driving it.
Yeah.
It was a good car. But we, in my adult life, I have not had the struggle.
I haven't either. Well, I did the PT Cruiser.
Yeah. What happened there?
It just ran. It just one day started running rough.
Hmm.
It was the day like I was supposed to start as a QA engineer at AJA.
Mm-hmm.
I started it up and started to drive down the street to go to work that morning, and it was just it was like missing hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it to John's actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we need to figure out what's wrong. However much to look at it. Cool.
Right.
They couldn't figure out what was wrong. And so I said, okay, fine. I'll pay you whatever the thing is. And I drove it like that to CarMax and sold it. Yeah. Bye. And then I took Shanna's car.
How much money did you
which
get for
was
it?
the Civic.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. $2,500 or something. It was
Okay.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then that's when I took the Civic,
Mm-hmm.
and then Shan got the CRV.
Mm.
Yeah.
So CRV wasn't new?
It was new.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We bought it new. But yeah, so it's just crazy. I mean, I struggle with like the thought that like you can have perfectly good mechanics trained and everything else,
Right.
and still not be able to get a problem resolved, you know?
Right.
And it's not even just the fact that the problem is there. It's like all of the other infighting with the warranty company and over all kinds of stuff. It's just been like 2 months of like sheer hell.
Super draining.
Yes, super draining. Like it puts me into a mental funk. Like I am like honestly like depressed, like a depression. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was so relieved, like they figured it out. Cool. And now it's just like, do I want to keep it? Can I rely on it now? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like, I drove it to Woodland and back.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
like an hour and a half. It's 45 minutes each way. No problem whatsoever. And the wife and I are talking about Mellie's supposed to come home for spring break. We haven't booked her a flight home because all the flights are super expensive. They're like $400+
Oh shit.
for a flight home, and we're
Southwest?
like, yes, all of the
Wow.
carriers are like super. We're like, what the fuck? So we're like trying to figure out, and just tonight, because I just got my car back fixed, we're like, cool, you know, like. Maybe what we can do is drive her home and we'll go do this thing on the way up there and then take her home and then drive back. And it's like, gosh, I mean, if I'm going to drive any car, I would want it to be that car.
Right.
Because I love the way it drives. It gets great gas mileage.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the things, right?
Right. Checks all the boxes.
But now I'm like,
would you want to get 2 hours into that drive?
Or 9 hours into that drive.
Right.
Because you're going to fucking
Oregon,
like northern Oregon.
Right.
So I'm like I have
what's that
concerns.
timeline? Would you have time to put a good amount of miles on it?
Would I need to?
What? I mean,
it broke in like 2.5 miles today.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You know, if the amount of driving needed to get there and back, could you put that time into it if it gets properly fixed so that you could commit to, oh, well, I'm comfortable knowing that it's probably 98% resolved.
I mean,
like when's she coming back?
like in the 23rd or something like that.
Oh, okay. So like next week.
In a week or
week
two.
and a half.
Yeah. So, it's it's sketchy at best. Yeah, and so it's concerning. It's very concerning.
We had one of those it's like depressing something like Monday. Man, I didn't have felt like I didn't have a right answer for anything.
Mm-hmm. I have those days.
Like, we got some news at work,
Oh,
and it was just
yeah.
like, oh boy, like
Yeah.
here you are with that like albatross of job security hanging over your head again.
That kind of information is something that haunts an employee.
It never goes away.
No.
And
especially when it's big companies like that, because
Right.
it feels so impersonal.
Right. And then you get these, there's a conference call. Stop me if you've heard this one. There's a conference call where, the management owns this decision, and we don't take these things lightly. Yeah, stop me if you've heard any of these big words. And there are no other intentions for these actions, current. Nothing else is being planned, for more displacements. And you're like, yeah, but you didn't tell us that these ones
We're even there.
were even here.
Or we're even considered, yeah.
To what extent, anyone who's like actually listening to what you're saying, that means that whole sentence means nothing. That like comfort sentence means nothing, because even if you're not going to tell everyone, hey, thank you.
Wrong person.
Oh, even you're not going to tell people that in most cases, you're not going to tell people these are on deck, and you certainly didn't in this case.
Yeah.
And
surprise.
And then to say, we've got nothing more. We've got nothing more planned to have these take place. You're like, you wouldn't tell us in the first place.
To quote
so
Clark,
this means nothing.
Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation, I couldn't be more surprised if I woke up with my head sewn to the carpet.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like what?
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, so then Piper, she was having not a crisis. She was running into like she was having a personality conflict, and
with herself.
Yeah. And it was one of those like parent moments where there was no candy coating it. I'm like, sweetheart, you're a young adult now, and the reality is, her.
I have a real hard time trying to sugarcoat crap.
Right, and that's pretty much where this was, and it was, her frustration was, well, I can't seem to win, and I was point blank. I'm like, you don't. Like
it's not about that sometimes.
You don't. Yeah. I said sometimes you don't. I'm like, that's the reality of like getting to some of these places where now you're at the steering wheel, and some of the choices that come at you in situations, you can mitigate the impact, but there's going to be impact. You're going to hit that wall. At what speed and to what capacity is pretty much all you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But you don't get to stop in front of it, and you don't get to go around it. You're going to hit the wall.
Just imagine you're an Uber driver, and the fare that you just picked up asks you to take them to prison because they have to meet their obligation.
Right. Yeah.
You're doing the thing.
Yeah.
But fuck, that's a shitty. You don't want to do that thing.
Right.
You don't have a lot of choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could, but it's just like sometimes you just got to buck up and
right.
take
and
it.
So I laid her out like a couple options. I'm like, this isn't like if I was doing something for Xander, like if Xander's in the same conflict. I said, Xander's under 18. I'm like, if, you're a young adult, you're 18, you're at the helm. You have the reins. You have to drive this, and I support whatever your choice is here, how to address the conflict. I support you 100%, but I can't step in on your behalf because Dad.
You mean to tell me that you're not going to be the parent that emails her college professors?
Right, or her cousin.
Because I know a parent that does that.
Yeah, no, that wasn't.
Which I think is completely bizarre.
Right, and in this case, how it was working, like there was no shape or form. Like, here's all the advice I could give you, and here's my experiences. You're going to have to weigh it and make your. And I said, and sometimes you don't win, but you can control the hoops that someone else can get to on the way to the L, kind of a thing. It's like, I'm not going to come out 100% clean, but I can, for lack of a better parlance, I can drag someone else with me through the mud a little bit, and we're all going to get dirty. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's all have a fucking mud pit party. And perhaps if you take that as your win, or like a polish on the turd, But I said a lot of times the acceptance of the reality of knowing everyone's going to get dirty, or everyone's going to be sad. I'm like, this is the life lesson here. I'm like, I can't. You're not going to make it right.
Yeah.
There's no win. There is no win. And it just, a lot of those haven't happened yet as a parent, because she's just a net new adult driving through net new things. And up to this point, as a dad, I've been able to resolve or fix or repair or avoid the wall. And so being able to have the answers or fix the problem, and now not.
Sometimes it's not even about that. It's about just listening and.
Yeah, and it like left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, man, I feel like I didn't nail. Like, damn it.
That sucks.
It sucked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Venus came home. She was like, "How'd work?" I'm like, "Well, this happened over here. This is happening over here." And I said, and Piper had a problem, and I'm confident in the advice that I had in giving it to her, but the reality of it stings because it didn't allow me to
fix
it, make it better, or leave her with a positive outlook on where it was going to end. And really, I think that's what it was. It was that it wasn't that it was something that could be fixed. It was that the reality of what the end result was going to be was not going to be positive. There was going to be some negative connotations to the end result. And life sucks sometimes. And I'm like, man, I just feel like I came up snake eyes. Like everything today, snake eyes. Like I just. And
plus, it was a Monday,
right?
Well, not for you, really.
And the weather of late, it's been a pain in the ass for me to get out and run. So I took last week off because I missed a couple runs, and I'm just starting to circle a couple of my things, and I'm like, I don't want to miss any more runs. I'm just gonna blank out the week and just move everything 1 week up and just accept. I took a week off.
Right.
Yeah. And Monday came around. I'm like, I gotta get back in, and I'm looking at the forecast. You and I and Mike, we're all looking at the fucking forecast again, and the rain's coming in again.
10 days of rain in
and
a
I'm
row.
like, I can't. The treadmill sucks to run on, and the coldness. I don't know if I've talked about that on the show.
Yeah, you did.
The coldness like locks up my lungs and makes it like it stings to run. Like the breathing it's a pain in the ass. Like I can deal with rain. I can deal with sprinkles. Downpours, that's no fun. Sprinkles and the low temperatures that we have, that is very problematic for me. And 30 degrees, not 30, but low, mid, high 30s is apparently problematic for an old guy. Like the mind is willing, but to then get out the door and like be slapped across the face and ass with like 37 degrees and a slight breeze and then sprinkles, it's like, fuck, I don't want to, but and it just like puts a donkey punch on the whole experience.
Yeah.
Well, like I want to. So I've got like, man, Monday, it was like a spearhead of like, I need to get back in the saddle.
Mm-hmm.
And
I totally know.
Work kicked my balls.
Yeah.
I couldn't solve a dad thing, and I want to work out, but the weather isn't cooperating, and it was like fucking. And then yesterday, I was like waiting for. I'm like, yeah. So my week's over. Yesterday is first run, and I'm like waiting for Venus to get home, and she like calls me. I think like 6 o'clock. Because she works till 5:30, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Waiting for you to get home." And I was already dressed. I'm like, getting ready to go on the run. She's like, "I'm on my way to Folsom. I'm working at Dad's tonight." And I went, because that means I gotta cook dinner.
Yeah.
Like if I'd have been in that mindset or been paying attention that
you need a kitchen treadmill.
Yeah. Elliptical or
like
something.
You could be like running while you're prepping.
Like, fuck beans. I could cook dinner. I should have been.
So do you have a limit on what time you're willing to go run in the evening? Is there a, like, once it hits like 8 o'clock, you're like, fuck it, or 9 or something?
Not really.
Okay.
That becomes that filter is relative to how cold it is. Like if
I mean, it's getting colder in the evening.
I'll run at 11 if that's where my window is. I won't run at 11 if it's 37 degrees because I don't have time for that. But and I try to not run. I mean, when the mileage starts to get up there, I get off work at, if I'm lucky, 5.
You run into the cold.
Right. I run into cars on like main traffic at like 5 o'clock. Like if I could shoot my run time between 5 and 6 when Venus isn't quite home yet, and then she gets home and I get home at the same time, then she's not waiting for me and I can help with dinner or whatnot. But that tends to not happen. So I'll eat dinner and I'll run after Xander goes to bed. About 9 is typically where I shoot my window. But it's been so cold of late that even by 9 o'clock, it's like, I don't wanna.
I feel that.
Yeah.
We've been hitting the gym.
Yeah.
Again, and it's fucking cold outside, and we're going at like 8:30, 9, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
8:45. And I'm like bundling up to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then I work out and I'm fucking sweaty like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not putting on a damn sweatshirt because I'm hot and sweaty.
Right.
And then you go out the door and it's like your shirt just wants to freeze up on
hypothermia.
you. Yeah. It's crazy.
On the way to the parking lot.
Yeah. So I totally feel the cold bit. I mean, I feel like I'm sitting in my house working, and I mean, I'm in my house.
Mm-hmm.
We have a heater, but I'm wearing slippers a sweatshirt, pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm cold. I'm like, hands are dug into the pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus, man. I think today I wore sweats just because I've been cold. So it's like, what? I don't have, we don't run the heater at 70, anything. Above no, it doesn't go that high. Maybe 65. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So it's chilly. It's a little chilly in the house.
Yeah.
It's
like if I get up and I get water or have to use the bathroom or something, and I walk past the dogs in their beds and they look like roly-polies or something, I'm like, okay, it's probably a little bit cold.
Yeah.
I'll goose it up past whatever 60 something.
100.
I'll put it at like 69. All right. At least to keep the dogs warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the same thing. Like, I'll get out of bed, I'll have a hoodie on or something, and then with like no shirt, I'll just throw a hoodie on. And like, midday, without the heater on, it starts to dip into like the low 60s.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
Jesus.
okay,
Yeah.
well, I've got to go put another fucking layer on under my hoodie top.
Well, and that, and you guys got cement floor.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have any carpet or anything.
Right. Usually I'm wearing jeans.
Yeah.
And because I'm running all the time, I have a larger collection of like anklets. So my jeans, when I'm sitting, and I'm wearing anklets or something, like right next to in the cold floor, I get this cold ass breeze that blows right across my ankles. I'm like, fucking, it's so cold in here. So then I gotta go change socks. I gotta put crew socks on so my ankles aren't fucking cold.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
And my hands, I'll feel like my skin start to get, how your skin just gets cold, like it's meat or something.
Yeah.
That's how, the back of my hands, I'm like, God damn, the back of my hands are actually chilly, and if I start getting like that, I'll turn the heat up. But God, I hate that.
And the whole thing is because Venus tends to she's always cold.
Yeah.
Now we're both, going to bed with hoodies and sweatpants, on. Like, fucking, what's going on?
Well, I actually have on my side of the bed, not even there. It's not big enough to cover the whole bed, and Shan doesn't want to use it. But I have an electric blanket that lays on top.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even typically use the electric part of it and even if I do, it's only on the very first setting because otherwise it just torches me.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got a sheet, a blanket, and the comforter, and then this blanket on top.
Yeah.
So it'll just torch me. So a lot of times I just have that thing just laying on top, and I can turn it on, and I have. There's been several nights where I have turned it off. It's real cold.
Yeah.
But there's nights I wake up and it's cold in the room, but that blanket is killing me. And I'm like, I'll chuck it off. You know what I mean?
Damn it, bullshit.
Yeah. But that's when I'm sleeping, I just sleep hot. But when I'm sitting in the chair doing work stuff,
right?
I'm not
bundled.
I'm not bundled up, and it's just it's right next to the window, and I'm getting cold.
What the hell's going on, man?
Dude. I'm like, we have a heater. Why?
Why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah. I'm not paying for gas right now. I can afford the natural gas.
I can run the heater.
Yeah.
Because I'm not running the other one.
Yeah.
With 4 wheels.
Jesus. So, yeah. Did you do anything this weekend at all?
No.
We, literally, I think on Sunday, did nothing. My wife's been having problems, her feet hurting her.
Yeah.
After some workouts and stuff. And so she's like, my foot's really bugging me. And we didn't end up going to the gym on Sunday. Mm-hmm. We just hung out. I bought a video game and started it in the morning and finished it at 7 o'clock or something at night. I played the whole entire thing.
What was it?
With breaks in there, I don't even remember. I forgot what it was called. I only played it for a day.
Wow.
But I'm into adventure-y, puzzly kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been finding some cheap, like on the Nintendo eShop stuff that's like $2-3. It's like it's on sale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I'd pay $2 for that and play it.
Yeah.
And watch the trailer and say, oh, it looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's got puzzles and stuff. Yeah, I want to do that. And then sometimes I'll finish them in a couple hours.
You know, there were two really good games that were on the Xbox. Did you ever play World of Goo?
Yes, I did. I love that game.
Did you like that one?
Yeah.
Did you play Braid?
No, I didn't know that one.
Not the same style, but very like side-scrolling puzzle.
Okay.
I think it was an indie. God, that was a really good game too. Braid. It was on
Braid.
Xbox Live. I don't know if that is a next gen adapted, but both of those were awesome.
I'm looking at I have the parental stuff turned on just so I can see how much I play.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
On Sunday,
Yes.
I played 9 hours and 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is what game is this?
You don't even.
Oh,
know.
the Last Campfire.
I haven't heard of that one.
I think it's a younger audience game. I don't know. I'm guessing it was fairly simple, but there were times where like some of the puzzles were like, what the fuck? But it was just kind of I just thought the way the graphics were put together and that kind of, it was pretty cool. And right now I'm playing a game called
what is the one that you play
Windbound
when you're testing products?
Oh, and I was testing before that was
Fire Guy.
what's that game called? I have to look. I'll have to look for you.
That looks kind of puzzly too, isn't it?
It is, but also side scroll game.
Yeah, Braid is kind of like that in that format.
It's called like Unthread 2 or Thread 2 or 2 something.
Two threads and a microphone.
Two turntables and a microphone. But I'm playing a game called Windbound right now.
Okay.
Kind of like a large, is it an MMRP or whatever, but like solo, and you're a person that like washes up on a shore on a island.
Okay.
You're a chick, and then you figure out there's like little islands that you can see nearby, and you can do certain things like pick up straw and stuff.
Okay.
But like it builds, so like you craft things so you can do different stuff.
Okay.
And then there's an island right there. I wonder if I can swim, and sure as shit you can swim to it.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, and on this island, it's sort of like now there's some fucking animals on it and some berries, and you have to eat, and like you have to maintain your health and stamina by eating, and then you got to figure out how to kill the animals, and like everything sort of builds, and then eventually you build like a canoe, and you can see islands way off in the distance, and you're like, I wonder if I can make it there. And then like you get your canoe and you can go out there, and you get there and you realize, well, shit, there's not any food here. I got to go back to the other island and like gather food. It's so far. Yeah, it's been really cool. I don't know where it's headed.
Mm-hmm. So it's open-ended. It doesn't.
It seems like it.
Interesting.
I assume there's a sort like you're supposed to be doing.
This is on the Switch.
Yeah, on the Switch.
Okay.
And it was on. It's like I'll buy the games if they're on sale. I think it was like $3. And it was like, for $3, and I'll get a bunch of entertainment out of it. Sure, why not? And the graphics kind of a little bit glitchy or whatever, but like it looks kind of cool. It almost looks like a Zelda.
Oh, okay.
Legend of Zelda, the latest, whatever the latest one is. The graphics similar to that, but not as good.
Mm-hmm.
But like there are like a lot of the games that I like to pick out of the eShop are sort of like small publishers that make games that aren't they're not like huge publishers. So you sort of get a mixed bag of who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
But they come up with some clever game ideas and stuff like that, I mean, I spent 9 hours and 10 minutes playing that other game. Granted, I finished it from beginning to end, but it was cool. That's what it kept me compelled. The puzzles were kind of fun. Some of them were super simple. Some of them were really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of thing I like, is that those kind of puzzly games.
Mm.
And Zelda.
Yeah. Right. Which, that's this year, isn't it?
I think it
the new
comes in May 3rd or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's coming soon.
Piper's playing the Harry Potter one.
The Harry Potter Lego game?
No, the yeah, Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, okay. I don't know it.
Like the new one
on the Switch.
No, well, no, she was playing on the PS5.
Oh, okay.
It's like a next gen game. It's it's like takes place hundreds of years before the Harry Potter series.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Good story, I think.
Now, that's a movie series that I have seen, like, maybe the first movie of.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter series. And my wife is, like, not interested. And at one point she was like, yeah, let's watch them all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, hey, what do you want to watch? And I'm like, we can start the Harry Potter series if you want, because I'll rewatch the first one. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no. It's like sort of like, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, you said you would watch them all. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. But she's so not interested in Harry Potter that it's like, I mean, should I just watch them on my own?
Yeah.
I guess.
Dave, I presume you haven't read the books?
No. Who reads? Who's got time for that?
I can't remember. They used to have a, God, this is well before Ingress time, but somewhere around, I think there was, let's see, I think the Order of the Phoenix, I don't know what number of book that was, but there were multiple books out already.
Yeah.
And Venus, and our two other adult friends from like high school and whatnot, Rob and Ariana, who live over by you, all three of them had read the books and were like, fanboys, like hardcore, like, and I'm like, it's just not my bag. Like, I don't, but I was like odd men out. Like, they would start rattling off like shit or be like excited for something. And I'm like, really? And at some point, Rob just goes, just read the books. Like, read the first book. If you don't like it,
fine.
And I'm like, fine, whatever. I think I read all the books in a span of like 4 days.
Oh, geez.
Because it's very easy reading.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
No big words?
No big words.
Lots of pictures?
Yeah. It's very
good.
comic booky.
Yeah.
And like a pop-up.
Oh,
and you could color.
That's fun. Some of them are electric.
Yeah. And you're like, now put this on the left nipple. I don't understand. What is this here? What is... I went through it. No, the books were very easy reading. It was a nice story, very easy. You could see why it caught on. It was just a nice, easy escape to wizards and witches and magic, and it was a good story.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think Piper has read the books. Xander has not. As a young little guy, I think I started reading him the first book, but we never made it all the way through. And pretty sure they've seen all of the movies, not recently. But Piper does play some mobile game on her phone, like pretty religiously. And she was real excited about the Hogwarts Legacy, and she's put more time into that than I have. So,
yeah, I just I'm interested in the movies.
Yeah,
reading for me is like painful. I think the only book I ever read was The Sword of Shannara, Terry Brooks' book.
Doesn't ring a bell.
It's sort of I don't know, Lord of the Rings-ish style kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was a good book. I enjoyed it. It took me months
to read it.
To read the book. I don't know if that's, I just struggle with like staying focused on what I'm doing when I'm reading. My wife just bought me the Dave Grohl storyteller book.
Oh, okay.
And I'm excited about it. I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I have this book.
Mm-hmm.
But also in the back of my mind, like, fuck, now I got to read this book.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
So you haven't started it yet?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No. And she just gave it to me for like Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a new thing, but like, I'm like, fucking love Dave Grohl.
Right.
And I heard a lot of good stuff about this book.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think ever mentioned like, oh, I'd love to have this book from Dave Grohl, but she just found it and bought it for me on hardback. It's really, really cool. But also, like, as in so much as it is cool, I go, shit, now I have to read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I have a real, unless it's technical manuals, Dave, I have a hard time staying focused on reading. Like if I read an article on the internet, I got the gist of it in like the first 4 paragraphs or something, you know?
Oh, okay.
And then I'm like, fuck it. And then I'll move on. I get the gist.
Right.
Books are more like I read a page and then I start to think about other shit, but my eyes are still reading the words.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not comprehending now what I'm reading because I'm thinking about this thing and my eyes are still doing the thing as if I'm actually taking it in and I'm not.
Right.
So now I have to reread the thing because I don't have any idea what the hell I just looked at. So I just get very ADD sort of sidetracked.
For me, that happens very easy if I'm in the office reading something in a browser tab.
Okay.
Like, that reminds me. And then tab, tick, 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 tick. Or I don't know what that means exactly. Open a tab. Tick, tick, tick. Ooh, rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. Too many branches available
but
to
if
you.
if it's a book that I have interest in, like the Harry Potter books, like easy reading. Oh, I'm interested in this, and I'll pound it. I've purchased.
That's what he said.
Yeah, hey, I've purchased like a couple. Not in like political affiliated books or autobiographies.
A bunch of Trump books.
Yeah, totally. Make America Great, babies. Where I get like a chapter in and it just doesn't, like, the topic and political science part I'm very interested in, but for whatever reason
it loses your interest.
Yeah, I can't stomach it. Just it doesn't hold my interest.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings books, pounded those books. The Silmarillion, which is like an offshoot of those, same guy, couldn't I grueling struggle to get through that, like where it was like, why this is dumb, like this thing is so
I'm torturing myself.
Yeah, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's if it's a topic that I'm interested, like a biology anatomy textbook, I will sometimes when I need to like a level set, I'll just flip through an old textbook, my anatomy textbook from Butte Junior College. This is my jam.
Reference type books are interesting to me.
There's a psychology book that I have that is another like, these are okay. Calculus, no. Absolutely not.
Oh yeah, I just read all my old algebra 2
go
books.
back over like some stuff. I've retouched some of Piper's, touched in on her like chemistry book. Like, oh man, I remember that. But a lot of that I think has to do with like attachments to teachers from my high school. Like, a lot of my science teachers from Bear River, like I had really good fond memories and relationships with. So that made the whole thing like, oh, I remember learning that with that. Oh yeah, okay, I remember that. And then it just like makes, all of a sudden I'm 2 chapters fucking deep in a chemistry textbook. Like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Find help. That's not right.
That's weird.
That's weird, man. You should go change the oil in the RS or something. Like, that's not right. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So struggles.
Yeah.
We're close on time. I have a funny haha.
Okay.
Which started with, I think, you and me and Data's. Like, when we would finish a workout, we'd get a notification on the Apple Watch.
Right.
I can't remember if it was, I think it might have been you or me that did it first, where we would get a reply, and it would be like out of the blue. Yeah. Like, and you're like,
what the fuck was that?
What is that? Yeah. What does that mean? Oh, I think you did something, and I think I replied with like a fire, like 3 little bonfires, and you're like, why?
Because the thing is it sends you a thing, and I don't even know.
Right. So
it's not like there's a history for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in the ecosystem, if you're sharing the fitness stuff, I get a notification. Oh, you finished a workout.
Yeah.
And from the Apple Watch, if I just hit reply, there's like
canned messages,
pre-canned ones, and I'll just bink, good job. Hit the fires. Good job. But since Venus has got a watch, what we're doing now is like when we get the notification between each other, I just started like hitting random bink, whichever one comes up.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm literally like hit reply, close my eyes, give a little nudge, and then just hit whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
call you later.
Yeah, call you later. I think I sent her one that was like, missed the bus? And I don't know if it was that one or not, but she had replied like, what do you mean? Yeah. Oh, I think it had like a derogatory thing. It was like, I got it. What was it? Like, glad you finally got out or something like that. Yeah. She was like, what the fuck, dickhead? Kind of thing. She was like, what is it? What do you mean? She's like, I got a little pissed. Like, what the? And then I realized I'm like, yeah, I don't look. Sometimes I'm just, bink. And we've had full, like, how long until you're going to just stop replying? Like, yeah, call me later.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything? Missed the bus.
LOL.
Yeah, LOL. Like, okay. You're making me look bad. Like, what? And then you get, between the two of us, we're getting like 5 deep, and it's like, was that
real?
Was that one a real one? Yeah. Or was that like, did that actually come up? And like, I'm just going to call her. Like, we're done.
This
right?
is not good.
Yeah, we need to stop.
It's almost like you have to reply with real response, and then actually type your reply.
This one's real. Wow, that sucks. The dog died.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. What? I've got cancer.
Oh, God. I hope it doesn't suggest that. Damn.
What's in there?
Damn.
That'll stop you dead in the tracks.
Your mom's a whore.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
What? She's dead. Okay. That's... Ooh.
Getting personal now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Siri.
Yeah. Dig a trench.
Wait,
why? I'm with my girlfriend. What?
We had a funny thing with in our team meeting yesterday, and everyone's up in Grass Valley where there's a crap load of snow. Right?
Yeah.
Our office was closed like 3 days last week because of snow. And everyone's worried now because we're supposed to have this atmospheric river come in.
Right.
And the snow level's supposed to go up, and it's supposed to rain and all this snow, so it's supposed to cause flooding and all kinds of crap.
Right.
And they're like, something about, everyone was giving me a crap. Well, you're down there. You're down at the bottom of the hill, so... you're going to get all the flooding. I'm like, well, I'm in a high spot. They're like, oh, well, not as high as we are, and all this stuff. And then someone's like, maybe you can build me an ark. And then I'm like, yeah, and then you could just ride it down and we could have a party at my house because I'll be high and dry. So this was literally the conversation in our meeting. You can just hang out here because you guys are going to be all fucked up there. All the water will be rushing around my house.
Yeah. I want a high spot.
Yeah. So anyway,
We're at time.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening. I hope
I feel better.
you enjoy that. Do you?
I do.
It's like good.
I mean,
It's like good chat.
we're gonna shut it down and be sad about what's coming tomorrow. But I feel good here at the tail end.
I have depression anyway. So what's the difference?
Hey.
So yeah.
Anyway,
Don't forget to wash your hands because it's important.
return the cart.
Wash your ass too, please.
Wear the mask.
Check your oil, Tony.
Get the shot.
Hold a candle to it.
Register to vote.
Return the cart. Did you say that?
Yeah. Make origami. And
Don't chew a shoe.
yeah. Oh man. Both of the eyeglass cleaning cloths came out of Jack's.
Oh God. Don't chew the eyeglass.
Yeah, don't eat the eyeglass cloths. It was so both of them. I got a 2-for-1.
Now you can just wash them and use them.
I fucking threw them away.
Oh no, you gotta wash them and use them.
Hell no.
It's like diapers.
They were in there for like a week.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, well, do the kindness, everybody.
We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.